Do you know you have a tool so deceptively simple that most people overlook it, yet so powerful it has saved countless lives in emergency rooms worldwide? This same tool prevents catastrophic engineering failures, ensures flawless restaurant service, and helps astronauts remember critical procedures in space. The shocking truth is that this tool costs nothing to implement yet delivers extraordinary results. We're talking about the humble checklist, perfected through decades of research across high-stakes industries. Atul Gawande, the renowned surgeon and New Yorker writer, dedicated years to studying this phenomenon in his best-selling book, The Checklist Manifesto. His journey began when he noticed a troubling pattern. Even at prestigious hospitals, highly skilled doctors kept making preventable mistakes. These weren't cases of incompetence, but rather the inevitable consequence of overwhelming complexity in modern systems. One particularly revealing case involved a little girl who nearly died from a routine surgery. The medical team forgot to administer antibiotics beforehand, a simple step that would have prevented her life-threatening infection. This tragic near miss became the catalyst for Gawande's global research. What he discovered would transform industries far beyond medicine. The solution wasn't more training or better equipment, but rather implementing systematic checklists. Consider the sobering reality that even veteran professionals with decades of experience make basic mistakes under pressure. Through his research, Gawande estimates that in complex environments, human memory fails us about 5% of the time regardless of skill level. In aviation, this translates to 1 error every 20 flights. In medicine, it means preventable complications in thousands of surgeries annually. The turning point came when Gawande worked with the World Health Organization to test a surgical safety checklist across 8 hospitals worldwide. The results published in the New England Journal of Medicine stunned the medical community. Post-operative complications dropped by 36% across all locations. In some hospitals, death rates fell by nearly half. Perhaps most remarkably, the checklist cost nothing to implement yet delivered results equivalent to spending millions on new medical technology. Gawande found similar patterns in unexpected places. Investment firms using decision checklists consistently outperformed those relying on intuition alone. Construction projects employing systematic checklists completed on time and under budget far more frequently. The common denominator was clear. In our information-overloaded world, even experts need cognitive scaffolding to perform at their best. The human brain has fundamental limitations in handling complexity that no amount of training can overcome. Cognitive psychologists have shown we can only hold about 4 pieces of information in working memory at once. Checklists work because they externalize critical knowledge, freeing mental bandwidth for higher-level thinking. Gawande's research highlights fascinating examples from aviation history. The infamous 1935 crash of the Boeing Model 299 prototype occurred because pilots forgot to release a simple locking mechanism. This tragedy led directly to the creation of the modern pilot's checklist. Today, aviation safety checks are so thorough they include verifying the presence of life vests under seats. This crucial step contributed to saving all 155 lives during the miracle on the Hudson emergency landing. In the culinary world, Thomas Keller's French Laundry restaurant maintains 3 Michelin star quality through obsessive checklist systems. Every dish has precise preparation steps verified by multiple chefs at different stations. This systematic approach ensures perfect consistency whether serving 20 guests or 200. Checklists apply equally to knowledge work. They transform sporadic excellence into consistent performance, whether drafting reports or overseeing projects. Creating an effective checklist requires understanding key design principles that Gawande uncovered through extensive field testing. The most common mistake is making checklists too long or too vague. Research shows the magic number for most tasks is 5 to 9 items, with each step being concrete and actionable. Gawande identified 2 fundamental checklist architectures through his work. The do-confirm checklist allows users to perform tasks from memory first, then verify completion afterward. This works well for familiar routines like morning rituals. The Read-Do checklist provides step-by-step guidance for complex or unfamiliar procedures like equipment troubleshooting or emergency protocols. The WHO surgical checklist succeeded because it focused only on critical failure points. It had just 19 items grouped into 3 pause points: before anesthesia, before incision, and before leaving the operating room. Similarly, your personal checklists should highlight vital steps, not document every possible action. A business meeting checklist might include just 5 items: clear objectives defined, necessary materials prepared, participant roles confirmed, time limits set, and action items documented. Think of checklists as the operating systems behind successful businesses like McDonald's or Starbucks. These companies don't rely on superstar employees, they rely on systems. When someone leaves, new staff can deliver consistent quality because every process is documented and standardized. Checklists function the same way. They institutionalize best practices so performance stays high regardless of who's executing the tasks. This systemization is why fast food chains maintain quality across 30,000 locations, and why surgical checklists work equally well in Boston and Botswana. Understanding why checklists work requires examining human psychology at its core. Our brains are wired to take shortcuts, especially when performing familiar tasks. Psychologists call this automaticity, where repeated actions become habits requiring little conscious thought. While efficient, this mental autopilot creates blind spots where critical steps get overlooked. Checklists interrupt this dangerous automation by forcing deliberate attention. Neuroscience research reveals an intriguing paradox about expertise. As we master skills, the brain transfers control from the careful, analytical prefrontal cortex to the faster but error-prone basal ganglia. This explains why veteran surgeons might forget to wash hands, or experienced pilots could miss crucial pre-flight checks. The very neural efficiency that makes experts fast also makes them vulnerable to skipping steps. Checklists serve as external prefrontal cortexes, compensating for our mental limitations. However, we must acknowledge a crucial reality. A checklist alone guarantees nothing without personal commitment to using it properly. The most beautifully designed checklist becomes worthless paper if users don't faithfully execute it. This explains why some organizations implement checklists without seeing improvements. The difference lies in cultivating what psychologists call implementation intention, the specific plan for when, where, and how the checklist will be used. Gawande observed this firsthand in hospitals resisting checklist adoption. The institutions that succeeded made checklist use non-negotiable, building accountability into their culture. They understood that checklists aren't crutches for the weak, but tools for the wise. This mindset shift separates perfunctory box ticking from transformative system use. The checklist doesn't create discipline, it reveals and reinforces it. Implementing checklists effectively requires matching the tool to your specific challenges. Gawande's research shows the most successful organizations customize checklists to their unique workflows rather than adopting generic templates. The process begins by identifying your most frequent or costly mistakes. Gawande highlights how airlines like United use checklists for aircraft repairs. Mechanics must sign off on each step, ensuring no single oversight grounds a flight. This system catches 90% of errors before they become disasters. For creative professionals, a writing checklist might include research verification, structural coherence checks, clarity assessments, and proofreading protocols. Entrepreneurs could implement a weekly leadership checklist covering team morale metrics, cash flow analysis, and strategic priority alignment. The key insight from Gawande's work is that the format matters less than the discipline of consistent use and continual refinement. We live in an age where complexity routinely exceeds human cognitive capacity. Checklists represent more than just productivity tools, they're cognitive prosthetics that extend our natural abilities. From saving lives in operating rooms to constructing architectural marvels, systematic checklists create measurable excellence where intuition alone fails. The most profound lesson from the Checklist Manifesto may be this: humility precedes mastery. The willingness to acknowledge our limitations and implement simple systems distinguishes truly exceptional performers. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, or executive, embracing this mindset could transform your effectiveness. If this perspective resonates with you, please support this channel by liking the video and subscribe for more science-backed strategies to upgrade your productivity. Now, take action. Identify one recurring challenge and build your first checklist today. Share your experiences in the comments. What systems have worked for you? Together, we can master the art of systematic excellence. Remember, small verified steps create extraordinary compound results over time.